Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's second video. So we're running on the 5-day forecast. You can find the written version to that via the button at the top of the page, which takes you to the written forecast. You can also check out the video, and that's on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a bit, it's underneath the link ads. And the next 5 days really is going to be dominated by a Scandinavian high. That's going to be bringing us easterly winds. So it's not exactly a beast from the east because it's only October. If it was January, it would be. But it's going to be quite cool, and it's going to be a case of chasing cloud around, and probably heavy showers at times down the east coast as well. I think we'll have some rain, despite the fact high pressure will be dominating the weather over the coming 5 days. I think there will be rain in places, and that's particularly in the east. But check out the 5-day forecast if you want to know more about that. This is the 40-day forecast from the Beijing Climate Centre, or with the Beijing Climate Centre. So we're going to go out 40 days in 10-day periods, which takes us into November, of course, with this update. So I'll show you what the latest from the Beijing Climate Centre is for the next 40 days in a second. Before I get on with that, just very quick to say about the ads. I've already mentioned the link ads, so there's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse widgets, click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you'll be helping us to pay for the website. Thanks very much for doing that. So these are the 500 millibar height anomalies, first of all, broken down into 10-day periods. And then we'll have a look at corresponding temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with these. So this first 10-day anomaly is for the 6th through to the 15th of October. As you know, with these charts, orange are brighter colours, reds extrapolate to high pressure, and blues to low pressure. So what's going on? Pretty sure you're just here in the right hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it, of course. So what's going on for the coming 10 days is that we've got ridging over and to the east country. If you come over this side of the chart, that's Scandinavia, back into western Russia, and there is our Scandi high that's going to be dominating the weather through the coming 10 days. We've got the trough of low pressure in the Atlantic that's being blocked by this large blocking system. So we're going to have quite a dry period, I think, coming up for the next 10 days. Will, as I say, be some showers in the east, particularly close to the North Sea, but fair amount of dry weather, and temperature's probably not all that exciting, generally a little bit cooler than average, I would have thought. The next 10-day period shows a bit of retrogression of that high pressure, so we take the centre of it from Scandinavia and centre it just to the south of Greenland. It still means there's a lot of dry weather coming through with this. It just means that the flow, instead of being easterly, is probably more northwesterly. Still quite cool, I would have thought. Maybe even cold enough by this point to be giving some frost at night, especially so in the north. We've also got fairly weak pressure down to the south. If I just remove that arrow, you can see there's fairly weak pressure to the south of us. So this could imply that the most unsettled conditions, more unsettled conditions, will be in the southern part of the country, with the driest conditions in the north and the west. The next 10-day period shows still high pressure dominating, and this time it's actually moving right over the top of the country. So this is right over the top of the UK there for the 10 days from the 26th of October to the 4th of November. That would give very dry conditions, I think, for October. We'd probably see pretty dry anomaly. I think that could still be quite cold, really, especially at night. I would have thought there is a risk of mist and fog by this point, and very late into the year, of course, by then, up to the 4th of November. So frost, fog, and maybe mist patches as well there, as we're going to the end of October into the start of November. Just sort of quite a seasonable October, this. And then we go through to the final 10 days, which is the 5th through to the 14th of November. And it looks like that ridge is going back up towards Scandinavia again. So it's going nowhere fast. It really is in control of things. Be a very dry autumn, I think, if this comes off. Of course, we've already had a dry September, remarkably warm. The difference is it looks like it's going to be staying dry, but quite a lot cooler. And I would have thought this starts to turn the flow back into the southeast-east, perhaps, once again there, as we're going through that early part of November. Certainly no sign of anything particularly stormy coming up here, particularly wet and windy. But of course, this is the time when you expect Atlantic depressions to be steamrolling through the UK and Europe off the Atlantic with the jet stream. So it looks like rather an odd pattern, really. Not what you expect for October and into November, with lots and lots and lots of anticyclonic conditions. Let's have a look at the temperature anomalies then, and I think this is already a bit wrong. This is for 10 days from the 6th, from tomorrow, through to 15th of October. It's coming out warmer than average. I'm not at all sure about that. I do think these season models, I explained it a lot when I do these long-range updates, I think these season models, they are basically climate models. I think they do overestimate the temperatures a bit, they overdo things, so I would bring that down much closer to the average. The anomaly there is around 1 to 2 degrees, maybe a bit more above average, and I'll place that much closer to there, around average, perhaps even a little bit cooler than average for the coming 10 days. So adjust that down. That's generally the basic rule of thumb with all of these long-range models and their temperature predictions. Take about a degree or so off them normally, and you're not too far out, because I think they do overdo the temperatures a little bit. The next 10 days, this goes from the 16th through 25th of October, this is when the ridge is placed out to the northwest of the country as opposed to the northeast. This one is much closer to what I'd have thought, so we're about average, maybe a little bit below. That's the kind of temperature profile we should be seeing for the first 10-day anomaly as well. So overall, quite cool conditions, I think, as we're going through into that middle part of October. Now, the next 10 days, 26th through to the 26th of October through to 4th of November, this is when the ridge is sitting over the UK, of course. That goes warmer than average again, and again, I'm not sure about that, really. I would have thought that's likely to be closer to average, maybe a bit cooler as well. So the model is forecasting quite a mild month, but I'm not convinced, really, and this goes on into the last 10 days, the 5th through to 14th of November. Again, the anomalies are above average. Generally, if you was to take the model at face value without doing any corrections to it, you will think we're in for a really quite a mild sort of 40 days. I'm not at all sure, with so much anticyclonic influence, and because of the time of year. It's not July, it's not midsummer, it's mid-autumn, so with high pressure to the northeast, then the northwest, then over the country, then back to the northeast again, I think it's likely to be substantially cooler than this model is suggesting. Having a look at the precipitation, so the coming 10 days, this is going from the 6th through to 15th of October, bit drier than average, if that makes sense, and I agree with that. Although it won't be totally dry, there will be showers coming in off the North Sea to eastern counties, but overall, yes, I would expect a drier period. The next 10 days also looking bit drier than average, so again, that makes sense. The Atlantic is being blocked off, so we're not getting those rain-bearing weather systems. The next 10 days, this takes us from the 26th of October to 4th of November. Again, average to drier than average precipitation. Again, it makes sense. There's a ridge sitting right on top of the country, so you'd expect it to be pretty dry. And then the final 10 days, where the ridge looks like going back up to Scandinavia again, that one also comes out average to dry than average, and that all makes sense. I agree with that, but we are in, or we're probably in, for really quite a dry 40 days of it. In fact, we might even get technically close to a drought in some parts of the country. In the northwest, say around northwest England, perhaps southwest Scotland, maybe North Wales, I think the rainfall could really be in short supply over the coming week or two, and I think the technical definition of a drought is around 2 weeks without any measurable rain. I might be a bit wrong on that, I'm sure somebody will correct me, but anyway, we might get a technical drought in some parts of the country over the coming 40 days, because excuse me, there is a lot of anticyclonic influences, a lot of high pressure dominating. So you'd expect quite a dry period. I'm just not really convinced about the temperatures. I think they're overdoing it. I would have thought the temperatures are likely to be substantially cooler than those charts were suggesting. So around average temperatures, I would have thought, and at times probably a bit colder than average with so much high pressure around. As ever, these long-range models are all highly experimental, and their forecasts are not to be relied upon. So it's just for fun. It's a heads up of what the model is showing. The chart's there, so you might as well look at them. But always with the thing at the back of our mind that we have to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt when we go out beyond 5 to 7 days. Right, that's all for now. Check out 5-day forecast if you haven't yet done so. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.